Must also note, I would think, that Iran can be hit. He was hit and hit often, but he too can take a punch, can't he?
He can, and you know, he sometimes gets angry when commentators say his defense is lacking. Unfortunately, it's because he does get hit. But the fact is, as we saw in that McSwain fight, much like Robbie Sims, whom he had a great war with a couple of years ago, Barkley can be hurt, he can even be put down, but 9 out of 10 times he's going to get up and he's going to stay in there and he's going to get back to you eventually with that offense.
Well, that's a colorful robe that Amparo is wearing, isn't it? Yeah, well, remember now, with middleweights very much in the fight news here in Las Vegas this weekend, this is a very important bout for these two men, and Chuck Hull is standing by to introduce the principals.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials assigned by the United States Athletic Commission for the next bout of the night. The judges are Jerry Roth, Lou Tabbitt, and Patricia Jarman. Your referee is James Molinell. This is the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Introducing, in the red corner, formerly of the Dominican Republic, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing in at 160 1/2 pounds, with a professional record of 12 wins, 6 defeats, 1 draw, with 4 KOs. He is the Oriental Pacific middleweight champion, Jorge Amparo. And in the blue corner, fighting out of New York City, New York, weighing 162 pounds. His professional record consists of 20 wins, 3 defeats, with 14 KOs. He is rated #2 in the world by the WBA, introducing Iran Barkley.
James Molinell is the third man in the ring, and you can see that the cool of the Las Vegas evening have both of these guys prepared. I mean, they may be getting down to their trunks for some time. They're wearing everything they could possibly put on. It's a cold night here. I'm not going to fool you by telling you it's just chilly. It is plain cold, and there was some rain here earlier, and it is a bit unseasonal.
Okay, Iran,
it was 83 degrees here yesterday.
In the dressing room. Is there any questions at all? I want you to protect yourself at all times. Is that understood? I want a good, clean bow. Let's shake hands now. Wait for your mouthpiece. Okay. Any questions from this corner at all? No. Okay, shake hands now. Let's have a good, clean bow.
Our floor director here, Dan Arnsby, says the temperature 60 degrees is up. We have here just around 60 at ringside. We're sitting under some light, so it is plain chilly. There's Amparo, 4th round KO, his last go, and Barkley, who's the taller of the two men, is riding the crest of a 12-fight win streak, and he comes out and throws a left hand to get things underway.
There's no mystery about Iran. He comes to fight, and I'll tell you what, from the fan standpoint, he's the guy to come see because it's always exciting. Look at a wild left hook.
And a solid right hand, and Amparo, who may be a bit slow getting off, better start to get a little busy here in this opening round, or we might not be around. Well, Amparo's got a good solid chin. I've got to tell our fans that the versatile Mr. Bernstein is branching out tonight. He's going to debut a singing career. I wish you the very best of luck with it, Al. I know that you worked very hard in putting this act together, and it'll be a pressure-packed night for you, but our best wishes and thoughts go with you.
Well, it would be fun here at Caesars, and we should have a good time. And right now, I'll tell you what, Iran Barkley coming out a little quicker than I thought he might. You know, he called that title that they listed for Jorge Amparo the Oriental Pacific middleweight champion. I'd love to explain to you what that is, boxing fans, but I haven't a clue. Barkley called that the tuna fish title this week and said he was going to knock Amparo out maybe in 1, so we'll see.
Yeah, he said that some writer, I don't know if it was Dave Bontempo or not, but some writer said to him, what are you going to do? He said, knock him out. He said, when? He said, you name it. The guy said 1. He said, you've got it. Well, putting Amparo away in 1 round is easier said than done. Jorge's got a solid set of whiskers. Minute 30 remaining here in the opening stanza. That's Iran Barkley in white trimmed in red, and in red trimmed in white we've got Jorge Amparo. Oh, solid exchange.
Now see, there were 2 right hands. Barkley's got there and Amparo's didn't, but I'll tell you what, Barkley was open for that right, and Amparo can throw it. Look for Amparo still maybe, if he's standing in the next couple rounds, to land one of those overhand rights.
I tell you, this is a very busy opening, these 2 middleweights. They've wasted little time in checking each other's style.
See, here's the thing about Iran Barkley. He's a left hook artist, and he is open for the overhand right. That's what makes his style potentially bad against Amparo. The boxers, the guys that use the jab, move around, those are guys Amparo literally can't beat. He just can't beat them. But a fighter like this, he's got a shot against.
And Amparo pressing the action.
There's the right.
That's right. Right after that left hand thrown by Barkley. Half a minute remaining here and ticking away in round one. This is scheduled for 10. Little uppercut thrown in there by Barkley, scored. Got Amparo in a bit of trouble as he hangs on here, catching some leather. Oh, good right hand by Amparo, and Barkley comes back with one of his own. A very busy round one. Coming to a quick conclusion. We'll be back to see about round two.
Barkley missing with the left hook, but he will come with a good uppercut. And on the inside, he's got that excellent uppercut.
Back to live action. This is round two. Middleweight scheduled for 10. Iran Barkley, white trunks, trimmed in red. The red trimmed in white, Jorge Amparo. As Al Bernstein has told you, round number one, watch the left hand of Barkley. That's his favorite weapon. Those hooks and jabs and from every point in the compass. And if Amparo can counter it, it'll be coming right over the top of the right hand. Can they knock you out? Barkley's got the edge in that, 61% to 17 for Amparo.
You know, we were talking earlier, Dave Bontempo, a colleague who's working at this telecast, pointed out that Amparo is not a strong finisher. He can get a guy hurt with a punch, but doesn't go after him well enough to finish him, and that accounts for that knockout ratio being so small.
I tell you, Barkley is able to find Amparo with that left hand, Al, almost every time he steps back and waits and throws it.
Good jabs and good hooks. Now, they're hooking. I don't think Amparo wants to necessarily trade left hooks with Barkley. It's not a good thing to do. He's got to unload that right. That, I think, is his ticket to victory. You know what? One thing about Iran Barkley, he gives you a day's work. I tell you, he comes to fight. He's not going to back up from anybody, and it's always interesting.
He's a tough interview, too. I mean, you ask him a question, you get an answer. We're not dancing around the maypole. We got a minute 30 remaining here in round number two. We're scheduled for 10.
Big fight for Iran because there's lots of talk that he might fight Harold Graham for the WBC title, or WBA title, excuse me. And of course, that title will be vacant.
Been declared vacant, and the second bit of legislation or court room decision took the title away from Marvin Hagler. Minute remaining.
Obviously, that's because of his fight with Sugar Leonard that those organizations don't acknowledge as a viable contender because of his absence and the fact that Hagler had some mandatory defenses, but I don't think too many people would be willing to say that Marvin Hagler's ducked middleweights.
No. And I don't think anybody would walk up and say, you know, you're not the middleweight champion. The man truly is.
They shouldn't, because he is.
No question about it. A solid hook by Barkley found Amparo's chin, but as Mel Greb would say, Amparo has really got a set of whiskers. Less than half a minute remaining here in the second round. Mel Greb being the matchmaker and really one of the best. Coming to the close of round number two. Amparo, Iran Barkley, either man showing any of the effects of the quick battle so far. We'll be back with round number three after this. Eavesdropping a bit with Iran Barkley, and we follow him out of the corner as round three gets underway here at Caesars Palace. Boy, what a big weekend of boxing this is. Culminating in, of course, the Hank and Leonard go on Monday.
Tomorrow, Don Curry against Carlos Santos. Curry coming back strong now as a junior middleweight.
Hey, and there's, some of the undercard Monday night is worth the main event. I mean, Lupe Aquino against former champ Davey Moore.
Is there any chance that anybody thinks that won't be a knockout? Either way.
From what we've seen of Aquino lately, boy, he seems to be on top of his game.
He is indeed. There's Barkley with those left hooks.
Drives Amparo back in Jorge's corner.
You know, Amparo is so intense intent on trading left hooks with Barkley. That right hand is there for him, I think, at least on occasion to land it. He wanted to throw it.
He threw it.
Got nailed with one, too.
Boy, didn't he?
I'll tell you what. No backward steps.
Nope. For either one of them. They're teeing up. That's right. It was a solid left in exchange thrown by Barkley.
The quintessential Iran-Barkley fight. They're all like this. And they always will be.
Forehead to forehead, are they? And third man in the ring, James Molinello has had very little to do. What a busy go these two middleweights have put on for us. We're in round number 3 with 1:30 remaining. That's Barkley with his back to you now, white trunks, and Amparo in the red.
Must be something about our anniversary shows. Inevitably, we always have an undercard that doesn't quite make it, and then we get a main event that's just phenomenal. And I'll tell you, that's what we're getting here.
Well, this fight has been kind of a bitter one between these two. In fact, it kind of started with the weigh-in this morning when Barkley came in at 162, and according to Amparo's people, they never really got to see the scale. And Amparo weighed 161, and the fight was made for 160, give or take a pound. They finally announced Barkley at 162, but Amparo's people said, we never got to see the scale, and they were upset about that. Let's some raindrops.
Good right hand by Barkley.
Solid left, and another one. Oh, they are just teeing off on each other. Oh.
They're just loading up with every punch. This is so typical of Barkley's fights, and Amparo, when a guy fights him like this, is in the fight. A lot of low blows by Amparo.
Oh, I tell you, these two guys look like wind-up toys. Wind them up and send them out, and they just run and run and run. Solid combinations by Amparo, and Barkley backs up a bit. Crowd warming to this one as we're in round number 3. There's the bell. What a round.
Early on, Amparo, there's the right I talked about. Landed right on the jaw of Barkley.
Now, let me ask you, what if a guy knows, and certainly Amparo's been in the ring, this is no novice, but that right hand is what he should be going with. Why does he fall into that trap of getting into a left hooking, you know?
Well, you know, it's wild in there, and sometimes you tend to do it. I just don't know why he wouldn't say to himself, I'm going to go out there, throw 3 jabs, and throw a right hand. At least try that plan of attack.
This is round number 4, scheduled for 10. Raining here now in Las Vegas.
Not been the most pleasant evening, that's for sure.
No, one to remember. That's right.
For a variety of reasons.
Yeah, oh, no question about that. In fact, it's coming down pretty good now.
Fighters are fairly safe in the ring. It is covered, although some of the rain, I think, is getting to them because of the wind.
Yes.
They almost called the Hagler-Mugabe fight off here because of rain about a year ago.
Barkley and Amparo. Busy left hand of Iran Barkley in the white trunks.
Amparo's landing some good jabs in this round.
It's so 30 remaining here in round number 4.
Amparo's jabs becoming a real factor in this fight.
Anybody go to the body at all, Al, or are we just hooking each other to the jaw?
Well, there's much body work being done. Barkley was doing some earlier. There's the good left hook by Barkley. You know, one thing, we talked about Amparo having a good chin. He's shown it there because Barkley's a very good puncher, and he's hit him with lots of shots. Blood from the mouth of Barkley.
Barkley's won 20 fights, and he's won 12 in a row. And of those 12, why, he has scored a knockout in 8 of them.
Yeah, this 4th round is the best round Amparo's had in this fight. He's taken some shots, but also been moving forward and being fairly effective.
Well, he gives the impression of being almost relentless, Al. He just keeps coming on and coming on and coming on. He's an underdog in this fight. Half a minute now and counting down. We're in round number 4. There's a nice right hand thrown by Amparo. A punch that has been available to him most of the fight. And he continues to drive Barkley back. A busy round number 4. As all of the rounds have been coming to a close, we'll be back. Round 5 coming up. Did you give the round to Amparo, the 4th round out?
Yeah, I certainly did.
All right, here we go. Round number 5. It's Amparo in the red and Iran Barkley in white. These are middleweights. He was scheduled for 10. Now the ring maybe getting a bit slick in there. You saw Barkley slip. Well, did you think it was a knockdown?
Well, he was hit with a series of punches. It might have knocked him off balance. That's a tough one. I have feeling that's one that the replay will tell us for sure.
Okay.
James Molinell feeling he was knocked down by the punches.
I thought he slipped in the same spot that Barkley did. I think that ring is getting a little slick out there. Barkley sensing that he hurt Amparo.
And it's tough to tell with Amparo because he's often so off balance. Ooh, they're both loading up with the rights.
Yes. Relentless series of left hooks thrown by Barkley.
This is what Barkley does. As you said, you wind him up and he starts throwing punches.
Indeed, that was a knockdown. I'm not disputing referee Molinell. He called it. That's the way it's going to go in the book. Amparo doesn't seem to be any the worse for wear for it.
Ron Barkley went after him big time after that. Barkley's landed some good shots.
We've got some blood showing on the white trunks of Barkley. I don't know from whom.
That's from his lip, I think.
Commented in one of our earlier fights tonight that the two guys were about a foot away from having a real good fight. If these two guys were a foot closer, they'd be behind each other.
Sure, they've made up the foot.
Well, I'll tell you, if you like action, you got to fall in love with these two guys. Oh, good hook thrown by Barkley. But Amparo just keeps coming on, and punch for punch they exchange. That's no knockdown. That's a slip. As Amparo went down.
And if this ring continues to get wet, it's going to be a big factor here.
Well, I don't know how they're going to keep it dry because the rain is now a steady drizzle coming down and the wind blowing it in and the canvas getting a bit slicker. Slows for just a bit as we're in the closing 30 seconds of round number 5. Oh, solid right hand by Barkley. And a left. Coming to a close. It has been a busy one, as the others were. We'll be back right after this.
Open your mouth. On the last round, this is where it was called knockdown. One of those punches may well have landed. He did knock him down with the punch, but maybe he slipped.
It looked to me, Al, as though almost every one of them was caught by the right hand of Amparo, and that just reeling back, the force of the blow might indeed have knocked him down, but you can see the one sure thing about this fight tonight, aside from being very busy, is the rain coming down here in Las Vegas. It's coming down, coming in on top of us, and all in all, it's kind of a miserable night right now.
One of the tunes I'm going to do later is Coming from the Rain. I wish I could do it now.
Oh, boy, it is really coming down.
I mean, I wish I could do it and make the rain go away.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Time we make it you in the act.
I may be the opening
I think so.
part of the act.
We see that I've got Barkley. Good right by Amparo. That was his best right of the fight, and he hurt Barkley with it, I think. Yes, I think he staggered him. Remember, though, Barkley has great recuperative powers.
Well, I'll tell you, these two guys are tough. There's looks like a cut over Iran Barkley's left eye.
And I think that came from the right hand. I don't think it came from a clash of heads. It may have, but that right might have done it.
Molineux looking at the eye now of Iran Barkley. Would certainly appear to be an inviting target as Amparo lands a solid right. You can see the blood over the right, the left eye of Iran Barkley.
Amparo, now remember I talked about the right of Amparo, and there it is.
Solid right hand again. And that one missed. Amparo was knocked down in the 5th round. We're in round number 6, and Barkley is cut. And it's a pretty good gash right up over the left eye, and we are getting soaked as we sit here now. I mean, soaked.
And the rain is a factor in this fight, I think, again, because of the slippery ring and the mobility. Oh, tremendous left hook by Amparo. Jorge Amparo having himself some round here.
That chin of Barkley's is inviting him wide open every time he throws that left down. There's a solid right again. And a stream of blood now from the cut above the left eye of Barkley. And there's the right hand that drives him back again. And Amparo, a very solid 4th round, went down in the 5th and coming back very strong here in the 6th.
Iran Barkley is not by trade a boxer who backs up and punches well, and in this particular instance, he can't do it.
Boy, and the rain is really pouring down now in on the fighters. Barkley, despite the blood coming down from the cut above his left eye, continues to punch away. Well, you've got to be in shape to handle something like this. The white trunks of Barkley are spattered now with blood, and it's his. Cut in the mouth, cut above the left eye. Round 6 coming to a close in the rain, almost a driving rainstorm. That's the end of round 6. Amparo very, very much in this now, and his corner very busy. Barkley's corner, you can see the cut. Boy, that is a bad-looking cut.
Okay, let the doctor in.
The doctor's going to come in and take a look at that.
Look at that, my son.
All right. It's a little cut.
It's a little cut.
Look at me. Wow. Okay.
Okay, put it in. 3 rounds more, baby. 3 rounds more. Come on.
Get underneath the action.
Here's the mic on my neck.
Yeah. An overhand right, we believe, is what opened the cut. Yeah. Now, you know, a thumb may have gotten in there, not intentional by Amparo, and added to it. But whatever, that was a legal punch, and it landed. And that may have been what caused the cut. I didn't hear what the doctor had to say, but it looked like a pretty bad cut there, and I'm wondering if they're going to look, how carefully they'll look at Iran Barkley.
They're coming out for round number 7.
I got to tell you, forgetting us at ringside, the rain is so intense in the ring that, I mean, this is like playing a football game in the rain or whatever. It's boxers usually don't do that. I've got Barkley leading by a point, I think. Everything here at ringside's drenched anyway. I don't even remember how I scored rounds, and my sheet is drenched with water. Yeah. Now, there's Amparo going down.
Slipping. The ring is wet. Make no mistake about that. It could be a factor before this fight is over. We're in round number 7.
Now, I just realized Dave Bontempo is going to think that it's always like this out in Las Vegas. It's a lot drier in Atlantic City. I'm sure he thinks
Bontempo's an easy sell, though. You can sell Dave on most anything. Again, the cut over the eye of Barkley has reopened. Interesting, the conversation in the corner of Barkley as the doctor came in, and the seconds were saying it's just a small cut as they quickly covered it over. Dave Bontempo's here at ringside. Dave, what are your thoughts about this fight? What have you seen so far? What are your comments?
I'll tell you, the pace of the fight at the beginning has seemed to caught up with Barkley in the last couple of rounds, and you can see the confidence of Amparo coming along as he tries to upset the apple cart. Barkley contending a lot of things right now, the cut, the rain, and the momentum of Amparo.
And Barkley has hit Amparo. I think that's a good point, Al. He's hit him with some of the best left hands you're going to see and he can't even discourage him, can't back him up. Amparo still just keeps coming.
Well, that was the big thing about this fight with Amparo's chin. We wondered, would Barkley be able to stop him? If he couldn't, could he outbox him? Now, Barkley is moving, but he's really not punching very much. And as I said, Barkley is not by trade a backup boxer very well.
I don't know how judges score fights, but I would think also that gash over the eye catches their eye, and with the blood coming down and splattering about, that too may have an effect on how they score the fight. I don't know. Dave, does that make sense to you, a thing like that?
Sure. And you know, you talk about the fact that both fighters are sluggers almost negates it in a way. Like football with a rain and mud as an equalizer. The rain helps the slugger, and since they're both the same style, it should phase itself out.
You know, you bring up an interesting point, not to digress from this fight, which is a dandy, and Amparo in the red, and that's Barkley in the white. Those fights will soon be all red. But you know, mud is the great equalizer. It will take a mediocre football team and bring a great team down to its level, and as a result, why you end up with a real close ball game that could very easily have been a one-sided affair. Well, the round is coming to a close. It's been non-stop, but it's been like that since it started. We'll be back after this.
You know, this fight now, I have it even. If, in fact, I'm close or anywhere in the ballpark and there's a potential upset, and boy, Dave talked about it, maybe another upset for our highlight reel on the 8th and 9th anniversary. If, in fact, this could be an upset, it would shake things up in the middleweight division. In the audience, the management of Michael Nunn, who's fighting tomorrow against Charles Campbell. He is a boxer from California who certainly would like to think that he's in the situation for some kind of a box off if the middleweight title is vacant, which it will be.
When you talk about the effect that Amparo has had on this fight, you don't see Barkley backing up, but he's trying to be a little bit of a tactician right now.
Yeah, it's not normal for him. That cut is just smearing blood all over. You got to wonder. I have to say this in all candor. They stopped that fight earlier with Sam Houston, maybe appropriately, but that cut was nothing compared to this one. I mean, he had 4 cuts, but they were little cuts, and they went right over the eye. Right now, Amparo, I think, has Barkley right where he wants him.
No pun intended, but Amparo looks like a guy with blood in his eye. I mean, he just keeps coming after Barkley, and Barkley is really, that cut right in the eyelid over his left eye continues to flow freely now, and it's got to be a problem vision-wise, and what an inviting target for Jorge Amparo. The rain has eased a bit. Why not? It's got us soaked. Doesn't have to do any more to us, does it? It can pass on to other places.
You know, one thing, Dave, I don't know about you, how you feel about it. I think a big factor has been Amparo's jab. It's really gotten better in the last 3 or 4 rounds. Look at it. It's landing all the time. It's setting up the right.
And you see the right hand popping in behind it. That's because Barkley is backing up, and the rhythm coming over Amparo, the confidence coming over Amparo.
Barkley's hurt now.
Yep, Barkley's hurt. Dancing and waving, and his face is becoming, solid right by Amparo. This is a tough round for Iran Barkley. He's a tough fighter, but I'll tell you, he's hanging right on the edge, and Amparo, cool and collected, almost stalking, certainly stalking, and almost trying to measure his man. Barkley backing up, left eye.
Boy, look at Amparo land that jab, Tom. I tell you, a couple of rounds ago, he started with that punch, and it's the little things that make a difference. They're going to look at the cut.
Yes, they are. James Mullen now is asking for time, and he's asking for the doctor to come up and take a look at it. And the doctors, they were all dressed alike. They were wearing towels, too. Keep the rain away, coming in to look at it.
Let him go.
Okay.
Let him go, he says.
Contenders get a bigger lease in a situation like this.
I think you're right, Dave. I think you're right.
Well,
I'll tell you.
not to play the devil's advocate, but is that not proper? Or is it? What do you think?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know if it's true in this case. It may be. I tend to agree with Dave, but I don't know. I mean, what's the difference? Safety is safety. And I'm not trying to start to get Szymanski. I know you're not either, Dave, but you just have to wonder because that's a
Barkley certainly feels he's in line for a title shot, and boy, Jorge Amparo is about to upset that. But the rain comes down. All of a sudden now, Al Bernstein has got Amparo on top. He's won, I think, the last 2 rounds. He was down in the 5th, but he came on to win certainly the 6th and the 7th and maybe the 8th.
Maybe I'm a cynic, but alluding to what Dave pointed out, I got to tell you, if I was sitting at home, I wouldn't go to the bank on the fact that Jorge Amparo's ahead in the judges' card. Correct, Dave, or no?
Exactly correct, especially with what's at stake here. And when Amparo fought James Pinchon, I think he got robbed that night. He appeared to win, but was given a draw.
Good right hand landed by Amparo.
And, you know,
gentlemen, how can you ignore it? I mean, look, he is literally chasing Barkley all over this ring, forcing the action.
I remember Barkley did win some early rounds, though, so, and I only have it a 1-point fight, so, but I agree with you. He's got all the momentum now, and I can't imagine giving him rounds where Amparo's just chasing him around. But remember, hey, Robbie Sims had a draw with Tim Williams, so anything's possible.
I think what's happened is that Amparo has been
good right hand by Amparo.
He's been within a punch a couple times of actually getting the verdict, and that is when Barkley has slipped away, but he is certainly in a defensive posture.
And Amparo is upset and says no.
I don't know, he got hit with the right hand.
But look at his face. He's not troubled.
He doesn't look hurt.
No, in fact, he's really upset about it. Now, that's the second time he's gone down. I think rather suspicious circumstances.
May well have been a slip now, but if Barkley gets wild here, Amparo may nail him. And he is nailing him.
Even more suspense for the scorecard.
Yeah, boy, really. Because that could make it a 10-8 round, although Amparo was doing well beforehand and has a minute left to go.
I tell you, you gentlemen could obviously be right. Those could be 10-8 rounds, and Amparo may go out of here tonight thinking he's the Rodney Dangerfield of the middleweight division.
I'm not sure I would make either of those 10-8 rounds. We'll see in this one what happened. It's fairly even exchanges.
Good right hand by Amparo.
See Barkley, though, what a man. You got to give him credit. He's got tremendous heart and courage. I do not think he's the most skilled of middleweights. He hates when people say that, but it's a fact.
That left eye of his, he's going to be hard-pressed to deny his profession to anybody who sees him after this fight tonight. Boy, you're right about heart and courage. Both of these guys, it has been toe-to-toe since the opening bell. Unbelievable.
You know, it's raining in this stadium, as we've said. Not that many people have left. There's a giant crowd to begin with. In fact, most of them are sticking around.
It'll be interesting to see how the judges saw those 2 knockdowns. We, of course, had the benefit in the last instance of the replay.
Well, even before that, I made there you go. I thought Amparo did extremely well. I didn't think Barkley did that much, except that one knockdown, if it was, which it wasn't. So I've still got Amparo ahead, but now I'm even more convinced that we shouldn't expect the judges to.
Well, he's got reverse gear working pretty good. Iran Barkley has. He's just dancing away. His corner said, box, box, box. Well, you certainly can't fault the heart and the courage of these 2 guys, Davey.
And to follow up on Al's scorecard, if both knockdowns are recorded that way and become 10-8 rounds, Barkley can win the fight only by winning 4 rounds.
Right. Good, that is an excellent. But look at Carl saying, come on and fight me. Now, that's a good thing to do. He gets nailed with a good left uppercut. I mean, it's as if he's saying, hey, this guy's running from me.
Right.
And Barkley hasn't thrown that many punches while backing up, although he did land that good left uppercut. I tell you what, Iran Barkley has basically almost, you could say, ran for the last 4 rounds of this fight. I don't know how you can say you're going to really give that guy a decision when he's run for 4 rounds.
Unless he thinks he's trying to sit on what he perceives is an earlier lead.
I thought those earlier rounds were fairly close, though. I gave him the earlier one.
It's a dangerous strategy with so much on the line.
Hey, our 7th anniversary show's at end. Really? What really a corking good fight. I mean, we've had some very quick goes here tonight. The Norris brothers, among others, with very quick knockout wins. But boy, what a 10-rounder this has been.
Now, Amparo's not cutting off the ring on Barkley very well.
We didn't list either one of them as real classic boxers, did we? Crowd is, by virtue of that booing, signaling that they don't like the style that Barkley's employed here in the 10th round. But hey, he who jabs and runs
Well, that is a very good point, except he's never not jabbing much. And be hard-pressed to give Iran Barkley this round. He landed the one good uppercut, but Amparo's been more advanced.
If Amparo could close in and trap him in a corner up against the ropes and throw some punches, why, he might solidify a decision here in this, with the 10th round, but who knows?
Well, he's done a bad job of cutting off the ring on Amparo, so he's hurt himself, too. Barkley's not the most nimble of foot.
I've got to bring up a point that may be a bit of a digression here. If you owned a fighter, would you have him wear white trunks?
No, for the reasons you're thinking about the blood.
Now, you see, those trunks of Barkley are just covered with blood. It's his. Well, the suspense is over. Chuck Hull has got the official card. Let's go to the famed ring announcer to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Jerry Ross scores 96-94. Judge Lou Talbot scores 98-90. Judge Patricia Jarman scores 96-94. For the winner by unanimous decision, Iran Barkley.
You explain to me how that fight could be 98-90.
No way.
How in any way could that be a 98-90 fight? If you want to give Iran Barkley a 96-94 win, that's plausible. A 98-90 is it's almost criminal. It's outrageous.
Well, two of the judges saw it 96-94 and the one 98-90.
That's absurd. That borders on the absurd.
Did you think the fight was close? Did you think you possibly could be losing going into the last round?
No, I didn't think I was losing, you know. He put up a game fight. But first I want to say I want to thank my Lord Savior Jesus. Yes, Lord. But he put up a good fight. He was game. But I knew I was in great shape. I had 3 tough guys that pushed me. Kenny Woods, Pat Briscoe, David Fields. They got me in the best shape of my life. I was not worried one bit.